Hey.
How you going?
Hey.
How you guys going?
Good. Thank you for joining in.
Well, I'll move over here so I'm not covered up by the logo. How's that? Is that better?
Oh, hang on.
And I'm gone again.
If I do this, I'm going to do something, I might hurt Camillo's artwork, and then no, it's not going to work. Oh yeah, it works kind of.
Ah.
I might drop that off.
How are you guys?
Good, man.
Move
How
the
are you?
overlay. Yeah, good, man. Good. Thank you for hosting us tonight.
Sorry about the technical difficulties there.
It happens.
And welcome, everybody.
Age.
My two favorite guys. Well, Kickstarter, In Purgatory, number 6, Sins of the Father. All right, let's get into it. Yeah. So you guys have probably introduced yourselves, right? Can I introduce you again?
Oh, go
excellent.
for it.
Oh, we got the Dharma of dough, the king of the bakery, the man who damned his very soul to hell, creator of In Purgatory, Kieran Jack. And we got my guy, professional clown fighter, the man who played the Mockingbird in To Kill a Mockingbird, Camillo Di Pietrantonio. How are you guys going? Good?
We're good, man. We're really good.
Yeah, good, man.
You must be excited about the launch.
Yeah, we were just talking about it then. It's been a bit slower due to the certain world events that are going on at the moment, but even still, it's been and I've talked to a couple of others as well that are running Kickstarter campaigns at the moment, and they're in the same mind. It's been a bit slower than usual, but we eventually got there. 3 days or 72 hours into it, we got funded. So, which is it's been great. It's a good feeling when they get funded. It's the stressful part when you're waiting for them to get funded. Yeah.
And there's always that drop off as well after the initial sort of launch and everyone getting excited. And then, there's the middle, 28 days. So you get the first day and the last day. Yeah. And there's the 28 in between. Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
But that's good that you're already funded. And look at that.
I mean, yeah. Camillo, we're talking about
look
before.
At that beautiful artwork. Look at that cover. That is sensational. Did you draw that yourself?
Yeah, myself. All by myself, man.
Yeah. No, that looks tops.
Thanks, man.
So that's going to be the D's cover, right?
That
is correct. So it's a little exclusive.
Excellent. Well. Yeah, because I want that cover. Yeah.
Well, he's been working very hard on the pages as well. Like again.
Yeah. So what exactly are you contributing in this one, Camillo? So we know you're doing the awesome cover. You're doing what, 6 pages, 6 pages, something like that.
4 pages, and then the D's exclusive variant cover.
Ooh. I'm excited.
Yeah, it's a special one for your shop, mate.
Oh, you always look after my shop. And for those that don't know, Camillo did the first ever D's sort of like international exclusive. He did the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles number 100 cover for us. And people might say I'm biased, but ours was the best cover, hands down. That Kevin Eastman guy should get some drawing tips off you, Camillo, because yours caned it.
I tried to give him some tips.
Yeah. I've heard he's really nice though, and he took the tips really well. Yeah.
Yeah, he's a top guy.
Yeah. Excellent. And you've had some other exciting news. You've got a couple of other things coming up, right?
Yeah, man.
You've had something just coming out and then something coming up soon, yeah?
Yeah, I had the cover for issue 1 of The Last Ronin that came out with Slab City Comics in the UK. That came out. When did that
Nice.
come out? Couple weeks ago. I've got it here. They just arrived today. My
Yeah.
copies.
Week before last. Yeah.
Oh, so
Yeah.
yours arrived today, did?
Ooh.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
then
I've ordered
next
some
month.
as well. They're in the post, hopefully.
Yeah, they should be in the
Yep.
post.
Yeah.
What is
Well,
it?
they
Then I'll have
obviously Sin
another.
City have looked after the talent first.
Well, I didn't. I wasn't the first one to get them, man. There was other people that got theirs first. Mine were actually late,
Yeah.
but that wasn't their fault. That was UPS. But and then next month on the 19th, I think it comes out. I got a cover of issue 2 of The Last Ronin, and that's with Sin City Comics in the States.
Excellent.
So yeah.
And has it been good to work with those guys?
Yeah, it's been good, man. They're nice. Not as nice as you, but they're all right.
Well,
No,
I've
they've been good,
actually
man.
been chatting to the guy from Sin City, and he's pretty aces. He's a really nice guy.
Yeah, he is. They both are. The guy from Slab City is really nice as well. They give a lot of artists chances, you know. Sin City's a young store, man. He just opened the store like a few weeks ago. I think he was doing like just online business up until a few weeks ago, and now he's just opened up a physical store. So yeah, but they're like, especially both of them, they're A-class businessmen, mate. Like they know what they're doing. Like my issue 2 has sold out in less than 24 hours. We sold it out, and issue 1 I think has about 50 copies left. So they hustle hard, man. They've been selling them hard. So
that's excellent. Congratulations. Nice work.
Man.
I'm disappointed. I'm waiting on issue 1.
I contributed. I bought as many as the website would let me buy.
Well, I didn't get issue 2.
Sorry?
I didn't get issue 2.
There's you still got one chance, man. You still got one chance. In a couple of days, I think they're gonna announce a metal variant for issue 2.
Oh man, that's probably gonna cost a lot more than
that's
cool. Yeah, I think it's about $75 US. But
do I know any Australian comic book shop owners that could get one for me? Oh, who could I ask?
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm not getting that one. Except for the one I order for myself. If I'm in the queue and I get it.
Well, I mean, they sold out really quickly, so I mean, it could happen again. Yeah.
Hopefully.
Well, I know I maxed out as many as I could buy for your Sin City number 2. So I tried to buy like 30 and it wouldn't let me do that. And so I just kept adjusting the amount until it said order confirmed.
I think there wasn't enough left. There might have not been enough left when you were ordering.
I think you got about 20 messages from me. Why can't I buy more?
He asked me, he goes, do you know a dude called Brendon? I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, I said all sorts of horrible things about you. Yeah. Yeah. But only the nicest horrible things about you, though. Yeah.
He told me everything he said.
Yeah. I thought he'd go back and check after talking to me for 5 minutes. And Kieran, you must be excited. Issue 6.
Yo.
And is this the end?
No, it's not the end. Everyone keeps asking me that.
It's not the end.
It's far from the end. Initially, when I first started this, I had 12 issues mapped out. What's that?
That's what we want to hear.
Yeah, well, I mean, I to be fair, I've released 4 of them this year. I started this project back in 2018, so it's been a journey. But this year 4 issues have been released, including your 4 variants that will come out as well. So it's been it's not exhausting. It's been an effort. Definitely having the time without being on the road has helped get these issues out where I'd be at conventions or getting artwork ready for various conventions. So it's kind of giving me that time to stop and go, okay, let's get as much as we can. Because I only released 1 issue last year of In Purgatory, so I was only issue 2. and I kind of felt I'd fallen behind in what I wanted to actually get the series out by. So to go back and kind of have this pandemic take hold of the country, it was really cool to have time to go, okay, let's get the mapping for the next 4 issues ready. And before I knew it, I had 4 scripts ready. So it was kind of like, okay, well, I best start getting them ready. And it was really good because I've been able to just go back and start illustrating and penciling and inking and just having fun with doing it again. You ask me now, I'm exhausted with my characters at this time. But I do. So at the same time, it's kind of like I know that I'm going to have a short break from this world for a moment and focus on some other projects I've got going. But this year it's been fun, and there's a lot more story to tell. There's 6 more issues of In Purgatory to still be released.
Yeah.
And there are other stories that I have written that I do want to share. So there's a whole world that really is still yet to be explored. Will you be releasing collecting editions?
Oh, that's excellent.
Yeah, so it's exciting, and there'll be some. I'll share something very soon at the end of this live stream with everyone. But it's been fun. I actually look at this whole situation where we're living in around the world, as much as it's a bad time for some people, it's actually kind of a blessing in disguise. It's been a great way to just reset and focus on how. And I've been able to do that. And Kickstarter helps that. Kickstarter gives me the chance to kind of put my work out to the world and get, the likes of Camillo to jump on board and help out with a few pages. And I love doing that. I love having that whole interaction with other illustrators.
That's excellent. And everyone's really excited for the new book. Like we sell a lot of your book at D's, and people are loving the custom covers for D's. We usually, each time a new one comes out, we'll sell a bunch of that issue, but then we put together what we call our Total Damnation packs, where we have a whole pack. So people who haven't checked out the book can check out the entire series up to date. Each with a D's cover, and you kindly give us some prints and some badges and things like that to make the Total Damnation pack a hell of a deal. See what I did there? Yeah. But yeah, I know. I'm
going to steal this idea. Don't worry.
I know we've been friends for a while now, and I know that usually your schedule is just nuts. Like, you do more cons than I do. Like, I'm so lazy now. I'm like, I'm only going to do that con, like, if I know one of my friends is going to be there and we can get drunk, and I'll make a decent amount of money. Whereas you're going to cons, like last year, you were doing them like every second or third weekend. Like, I think out of the 52 weeks of the year, you must have done about 20-something cons.
For the past
and not just big
years,
cons, but like the little cons.
Yep.
Yeah. So it must be hard, when you're trying to prepare art and trying to get things ready for a con, as well as just like the travel time. Yeah, it must be hard to be working on your love, your sort of your pet project, your series, when you've got all these other obligations constantly there, sort of taking the time. So it's awesome to have seen them come out like bang, bang, bang this year. It's just been brilliant. And people are hanging at the end of each one for the next one. And sorry, go on.
I was gonna say, you summed it up perfectly. Like the ethos that I've kind of lived by for this is like I've been kind of touring like a band would, and going out on road. And there's a few other guys that do it too. I'm not the only one that does stupid amount of conventions. Besides losing touch with most of my normal friends and family, but at the same time, it's the love of it too. I love going out to conventions and talking to people. Now, again, living in this world we're living in, it's changed my mindset. Maybe I don't need to be doing as many conventions as what I was doing last year, the year before that. It makes me think that we don't need to be doing as many conventions. I can get as much work as I can out like I have this year and kind of focus on that. And which kind of sucks because the conventions are great. I get to catch up with you, both of you. I get to catch up with all the other guys as well, and that's half the fun. There might be too many drinks had, but it's part of the part of the fun of the convention circuit, I guess.
Yeah, it definitely can take its toll, though. Like, I know we backed up. Was it the year before last where we did the Albury Con, but we'd done, I think, Oz Comic Con the week before, and then we did another one like pretty much the week after. And I remember turning up to Albury, and I was half asleep, and you were half asleep. And Albury's your hometown. But we'd just been constantly kind of out on the road talking to people for it was I think 3 or 4 weeks straight. It really does take its toll, like psychologically as well. And you want to put your best foot forward when you're at a convention. You want to be able to chat to the people that love your work. You want to be able to sell your work. And you're just tired from doing conventions. Yeah.
And
it makes it worse. Conventions are bizarre. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think I was talking to was it Dean Rankin on the podcast a few weeks ago, and battling a hangover with doing a convention it's a whole different experience, and you kind of just gotta roll with the punches there. At the same time, you just gotta keep battling on. You gotta sell. You gotta make that money, because if you're hungover under the table, then you're not gonna sell anything. Wow, you will, but I don't advise doing it. Talking from my experience.
I find I sell best when I have had a few drinks, but then when it comes to pack up, I've already checked out, and that's when the pain hits.
Yeah, yep. That's it. When you got to drive home, whether it be from Sydney to Canberra or Sydney to Albury, which is it's a big drive.
Yeah, it's a killer, isn't it? So there's a competition happening tonight as well, isn't there?
Yes.
We're going to be giving away a couple of sets of D's comic variant covers of In Purgatory.
These beauties right here from all our previous artists and Camillo's as well. Don't forget that one. That one will be included. So when that's finally released, we'll be sending these out. So if you can see them there, we've got Matt Kimes' cover. We've got Jackson Cass's cover. We've got Angie Spice's cover. We've got Logan French's cover. And then we've got my amateur hour cover. So these are going to be giveaway with a couple of extra bonuses. We've got some sticker packs.
Yeah, that last one's
pins. Oh yeah, well I'm going to throw Ben Mitchell under the bus here. He left me for dead in that last one. He was contracted to go and he screwed me. So fuck you, Ben. Nah, it's all right. I forgive him. But I mean, that's the kind of he's been a busy guy himself, so. He can't help that. And he had some other prior engagements. So we'll do a giveaway. Guys.
Yeah, your cover was fantastic. People love your cover.
Do they?
Yeah, people love it. It's rad.
Good for them.
I don't even sell yours as toilet paper the way I called your Done Fat Assassin as toilet paper. So look, there you go.
You asshole. So guys, if you're listening, is there anyone listening? Simply put in your favourite character from In Purgatory. It's as easy as that, and we'll at the end of this live stream we'll announce a winner. Simple as that.
Who's choosing the winner?
Excellent.
There's this magic thing called technology that I'm going to pump everyone's name into, and then it's going to spin the wheel.
Ah.
Oh, it's like pluck a duck without the duck or the plucking.
Pluck a duck.
Yeah.
We should have actually, in that sense, we should have got you to dress up as a duck, but we've got you as a what's
Well, can we get a close up on Camillo's page?
Yes.
Can you zoom down a little bit, Camillo?
Yeah.
Because that is looking very, very nice.
Even better. Might be able to.
Oh, wow. Check that out. Sorry. I'm leaning so far into the screen. I'm headbutting the keyboard.
There we go.
Oh, wow. That is awesome.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Killing it, dude.
Thanks, man.
Absolutely killing it. It's awesome to see both of you guys really pushing forward with what you do. Like Kieran, like seeing you bring out these issues one after the other has just been fantastic. I know like the fans of the series, like my customers are loving the fact that you're basically hitting like the schedule of like one of the big two publishers. Like basically it's almost like every second month you've got a new book out. Camillo, you're killing it with the beautiful covers. Picking up work with some great stores like Slab City, who just about everybody in the world knows who Slab City are, and Sin City as well. Like like you said, they're a new shop, but he's really put his foot onto the market already with some of the beautiful exclusives that he's done. So yeah, it's awesome to see you guys like getting to do what you love doing and finally getting that sort of success, that recognition. Like I've been banging on about how talented you guys are for years now, and I think people listen. I think some of them do.
I think you're too modest. For me, not Cam. For me, that's for me, not Cam. Cam, you're killing it. I'm just yeah.
No, but it's excellent. And are you guys enjoying what you're doing? Like I know from talking to Camillo, working with him on the Turtles cover, like you seem to have an absolute ball, Camillo, doing that work. And I know you were constantly in contact with me. What's the collaboration process been like for you two guys?
Me and Kieran?
Are you sending him nudes? That's what I want to know, Kieran.
No,
only a few.
None of that. Not this time.
Just to get me working a bit quicker, he sent me a few. I get the rest when I'm done.
Yeah.
So that's why I was getting such a discount and doing these pages.
Kieran's been good to work with.
Is that
how you look, it's well, I think we've talked about this before, Cam. It's been you came to me asking if you could be a part of it, and I was stoked to have that. That you took the initiative to come to me and ask me if I'd be interested in having you on board to do. I think it was at the time you asked for if you could do a variant cover or a pin-up, and as the spiel goes with In Purgatory, I do a flashback or more recently a trip out, and I've always get another artist to come on board and do those panels and those sequential art. So having Cam come on board with, and I think that stage you just started doing the Turtles cover. I didn't want to kind of take away that pressure from doing that Turtles cover because that's such a huge achievement, but also it would be a real joy to have you on board. So having you come on board and asking me was a real joy. And then you started presenting the panels themselves, and I was gobsmacked. It was awesome to see that work come to life from my shitty scripts. And back and forth was the great part about it. It was that Cam would come back to me with some pencils, and he would go, "Is this what you were asking for? I've done these little bits and pieces," and I rarely ever have changes when it comes to my artists that join me on the projects. I'm quite happy to let them go and be free with what they're doing. And Cam, again, punched out of the park, just like all the other guys as well. Cam, I'll let you answer that question too.
Yeah. Well, what was the question? Someone asked a question.
Brendon did. The collaboration process for us.
Oh yeah, okay.
Like for you guys collaborating together, yeah.
No, it was good. Like Kieran said, I came to him because there's a few boys in the local scene that I see hustling all the time, and I respect that. And I thought, we seem to have a similar mindset where we want to work hard. So I thought I'll reach out, and maybe I'll do a cover for D's or something. But then he offered up 4 pages of sequentials, which is good because I want to get my sequentials up. It's I had never worked with a with a writer on their script. I'd only ever downloaded scripts and not really collaborated properly with someone. But yeah. So it was a bit. I wish I could have put more time into it. I didn't know I'd be getting 2 turtle covers to do. So I was busy and I got the pages a bit late. Later than I wanted to, and I haven't finished the cover yet either. But yeah, I literally haven't stopped working on turtle stuff all year.
Yeah.
And it ended up paying off because I got 2 covers out of it, and it could end up being more as well. So, but yeah,
I've actually got an example of some of your work here. You sent one of these down to me for my son Jarrell. We've had it all framed up. He absolutely loves it. So one of the other awesome things about you guys is you always look after your fans and the people that love your work. Like, we've got a collection of little stuffed breads. I think we've got just about every one of the loaf that Kieran kindly gave to Jarrell. I think Jarrell's got so much of your original art, as well as this beautiful pin-up and a couple of other pin-ups. You've been really generous with your work and what you do, which has just been amazing. I used to read Talking Bread with Jarrell just about every night at one stage. He just loved having the little stuffed breads, and he absolutely loves Uncle Camillo's pin-ups. He's like, I think he goes to other kids' houses and he wonders why they don't have turtles art all over their wall that they got from their dad's good friend. So you guys have been ridiculously generous and looked after my little fella, and that's just fantastic. I think it's another testament to your hard work and your character, and your generosity, the way that you're willing to give to the people that sort of give back to you in the sense, or appreciate what you do, and let you know that they appreciate what you do. So I just think that's fantastic. Don't ever change, guys.
We owe you a lot, man. Like that, you're calling it generosity, but I feel in debt to you, man. I ought to give you more.
No.
Yeah, he's absolutely
Yeah,
right.
You're the generous one, man. You're the generous one. This is the least we can do.
Putting our shitty comics in your putting my shitty comics in your comic book store.
They're not shitty comics. That's the thing. If they were shitty comics, I'd tell you. There's a few people in the scene I've told that their comics are shit. So I'd be honest with you. No, but it's one of the things that I think part of the reason why we have all worked so well together is you guys always work so hard. You put your heart and soul down onto the page, in not just your the art itself, but the writing. It's absolutely brilliant. And people see that. People feel that passion coming through in your work. I think that's one of the things that sort of the big publishers, that's why they don't resonate with everybody. They resonate with a certain group of people, and they resonate with sort of long-time collectors who've always sort of collected a character. So they've been sold on a character, not on the creators. Whereas you guys, it's the creators, it's the people that have done the work, and that's what people appreciate, and that's what people feel, and that's what people kind of have that connection with.
Yeah. Well, I hope it's my characters too, because I'm putting a lot of effort into those things as well. But that's cool. I think that's. Sorry, you were going to say?
Yeah. Well, that's exactly what I mean. They're your characters. Some people will buy a Spider-Man comic. I could get my son Jarrell to draw the Spider-Man comic, and they'll still buy it because it's Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
You guys actually are selling a little piece of yourself, and I think that's what people make that connection with. The characters in Purgatory, Death, Dante, and the rest of the cast. People see those characters, and they see a little bit of you, a little bit of your personality, a little bit of your sense of humor, and that's what they resonate with. They don't see 80 years worth of branding and go, oh, I really like that product. They say, I love that story. And I think that's the big difference. And that's why I think, it's awesome seeing you guys work hard and then seeing people have that connection and seeing people, grab onto that and buy the books and want to see your work. Like the amount of people I have asking for Camillo's covers that are exclusive to other shops that, I can't get. I'm in the same boat as them. It's exclusive means exclusive, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's the great thing about it, and that's part of the conventions as well, is that people get that personal experience. I know from this year especially that a lot of people who have gone to conventions have actually come across to Kickstarter, and they've been willing to back the projects. Now, I don't see Kickstarter anymore as funding a project. I see it as a pre-order system. It's a very well-established pre-order system for me now, so having that ability to get that work out to people over in America, Finland, Germany, England, New Zealand, wherever it may be, is a tool that, I can have them in comic book stores in Australia and like yours that do sell the variant covers, and I can get it as many Australian ones as possible. But also, if I can get it out to American readers, or I can get them out to the American stores, that's a win for me. That's a win to be able to push my work and have it sit beside the indie section, whether it's next to DC or Marvel or Image, and people pick it up and they'll be like, what is this and who is this person? And there's the World Wide Web we live in, whereas you didn't have that once before. You didn't have that connection to the artist, and you couldn't go and check out their work on Instagram. You couldn't stalk them and find out every nitty-gritty detail about their work and where they've come from. Whereas now, we do. You have that chance to be able to go out there and go, all right, I like, for instance, Scotty Young. I'll go and check out all Scotty Young's work. Or I like, Dean Rankin. Another good example, Dean Rankin. His work is up and coming. There you go. Go and check out Camillo's work. You can go and check out Camillo's work, all of his stuff. It's all online. It's there for people to consume. And I guess the sprinkle on top for that is the fact they'll come and buy our variant covers, or they'll come and buy our comics, whether it be from Kickstarter or a comic book store.
I think that's one of the best ways that indie creators can use Kickstarter, is using it essentially as a pre-order system, but also it gets people interested in not just your work, but you. And then you might find that they end up buying the new issues off your website rather than backing it on Kickstarter. Like, Kickstarter gets a lot of traffic. It's a worldwide platform. But then once you make a fan, they're more likely to come and buy from you. They're more likely to come and check you out on your social media and your online presence, as opposed to just waiting for sort of messages through Kickstarter. And that's probably the best way an up-and-coming indie creator could use Kickstarter. Because admittedly, like, with the way some people use Kickstarter, where they're constantly using it essentially as that kickstart to fund their project, and they're not even trying to sort of drive people to their work and keep them as fans. It's kind of like, when I have a Kickstarter running, I'm going to be banging on about it like a 2-year-old working in the mines, talking about workers' rights. But then when a Kickstarter is not running, they're not there. They've got no presence. So I think, the way that you utilize Kickstarter is excellent. It's sort of the way I kind of imagine the platform was designed to work. Yep.
Yeah, I think it's the half the battle is, like, you've got to continuously put stuff out there to an audience. You've got to keep feeding them what's coming up. And I found this especially now that I'm kind of at this bridging point with the story for In Purgatory. I've come to a point where I'm like, okay, In Purgatory is coming to, it's kind of the first arc is written. So we're going to go into the second arc very shortly. And I'm going to have a little break, because as much as I enjoy writing these stories, I just need a break from the characters themselves and just do something to refresh the palette almost. So
yeah,
I think keeping your audience integrated in what you're doing is quintessential, because they will tend to follow you. I know a lot of people say that they won't follow you if you're doing something else, and I don't believe that, because a lot of my readers from Talking Bread have come across to In Purgatory, and hopefully they'll come across to my next project, which is the Apparition. So that said, I send out EDMs. I'm consistently posting on social media to keep that wheel turning. And I'm finding, especially being more involved now with Super Battle Armor, that their audience has kind of come back and forth between ours. So we're kind of sharing our audience now, which is really cool to see. And I think keeping them involved, whether it be through EDMs, through social media, through Kickstarter, or whether it be Patreon in the future, wherever it may lead us, it's important to keep that communication there, because if you don't have that communication with them, then they'll lose interest, and that's just the reality of it. There's people here who are joining us from the Kickstarter tonight, which is amazing to see. I'm so happy they've come on board to hear us talk about the project, because that's important. It's only, you can only get so much from the Kickstarter, whereas I can talk about it. Camillo can talk about his experience. Brendon, you can talk about selling the comics in the store, and there's a whole other avenue there that's kind of opened up. It is 50% of selling the product, but there's also 20% or 5% of marketing it, and 25% of the people that work behind it. So there's a magnitude of work that goes into these projects.
And that's something I've always said. Like, once you do your comic, or once you've finished your pages, you've handed it off to a colorist or somebody like that. Like, really, that's when the hardest work begins, because creating the comic is something that you enjoy. Selling the comic, if you're a creative person, or you're someone who really enjoys drawing comics or really enjoys writing comics, selling the comics is not necessarily something you want to do, but it's kind of where all the hard work kicks in. It's the necessary evil, because if you're not selling the comics, then are you going to be able to do any more? Like, if getting the comic out there so people enjoy it is a big part of doing the comic for you, then selling it becomes a really hard job, and it's something that takes up a lot of time, and that is time that you could be working on the comic. But if no one's seeing the comic, are you working on it just for you, or do you actually want that audience?
Well, I mean, it's kind of funny, because there's an audience that isn't reading it, or people that are interacting with it. You kind of need to ask why and reassess the situation. A great example of that is the Rise of the Talking Bread. It wasn't the success I thought it was going to be, and it hit me for a six. We got funded on Kickstarter, but I thought, because of the amount of people I had involved with the project, I would pick up the people who read those projects would come on board and read this project, and I would introduce a new audience. I was wrong. I was 100% wrong with that. And it wasn't a flop, but it really was a struggle to get it funded. And it was an effort to try and pitch it to people. And it scared me. It scared me going back to the Talking Bread, because, for starters, we've finished the series now, but we're also going into the process of creating it as a trade paperback. And you guys know that I've been working on it over the last couple of months to color it, and we're going to re-letter it, and we're putting a whole backstory behind it, and there's going to be a couple of new stories that are included in it. But it's kind of a daunting task, because it's like, how are people going to react to this? How are they going to want to read it, because it's such a far left story? Like, it's not your normal, it's your Animaniacs, it's your Looney Tunes, it's your wacky, it's your weird, it's children kind of story arc. How are they going to react to that? Because In Purgatory is a completely different audience to what Talking Bread was, and going to that project to this one, it's been a kind of a transition for me. So going back to it, it's going to be weird. I'm going to have to make sure that I'm ready for it, and hopefully the audience will transition across, will kind of go back, I guess, to Talking Bread that aren't familiar with it from the In Purgatory series.
Well, hopefully, so you're going to potential new fans of Talking Bread, like because I know from selling comics that there is a thing with, like, some people, if they pick something up and it's black and white, they'll go, oh, it looks cool, but I'll wait for it to be in color, or I'd rather a color comic if I'm going to be spending my money today. And so maybe you're going to reach this whole new audience of people who thought about picking it up, but were kind of a little bit put off because it wasn't color. Now that you're coloring it, you're going to get all those people that sort of and ahed and then maybe didn't quite take the plunge. Hopefully now they're going to take the plunge.
Well, yeah, I hope they do, because it's been a big effort colouring it. It does look amazing, I will admit that. I'm very happy with how it's looking coloured. But it's been a daunting process nonetheless to be able to go back to where it all started from. And I think I've told you both about, you know, I look at it and I cringe at it from where I started to where I am. It's kind of like those musicians that don't like playing their old songs because they know they're shit. And it's that experience, I guess. You kind of have to have a starting point. You can't jump into it and be 100% perfect. You always got to start from the bottom and work your way up. And I've definitely learnt that through this experience. And going into the apparition, it's, you know, I can even see it there. It's kind of changed again, my process of how I do things. And that excites me. I just wish I could say more about it. That's the hard part.
Well, I was just going to ask, but now that you've said that, well, fine, whatever. Don't tell us. No one cares.
You can't tell it to me. I want to say more about it. I really do. It's been really hard. Like, I've told my friends about it. I've told people who are close to me about what the project is, but I don't really let on to the general audience because I have to be careful. Look, basically what it is, it's going to be a superhero comic from the Golden Age. It's a satire. Let's put it this way. It's a satire on the classic notion of superhero comics. I've got a beef with them.
Sounds good.
I
love how you're being so mysterious. That makes it more exciting.
With what they've become in mainstream media and how they're perceived through the mainstream audience. And I've got a beef that hopefully calms my notion of what these are. So that will be next year. That's a project I'm working on at the moment. I'm very, very much into the, I guess, I'm past the concepting stage, but I've got a few scripts ready and some page layout. So that's after I've got in the Talking Bread all coloured and ready to go. So that's another project that'll be in between In Purgatory. And there's another project I'm working on too.
Well, I'm Kieran and I've got a secret.
Oh no, this one's not a secret. This actually is with this is with I just don't want to give everything away at once. This is the problem. But I've got he knows about it already. I work with Ruben Ramiro from America, so we're going to do a horror comic together, and we've been working on that slowly.
Oh, cool!
Over the last couple of weeks, so I pitched an idea to him, and it's kind of snowballed now into a project that we're going to be doing again next year. So that's hence why In Purgatory is taking a year off, so I can kind of just get some other projects out of the way.
Yep. Excellent. Excellent. Well, everyone wants to see more of your work. More Kieran's a good thing. Yeah.
Oh, thanks, boys. Yeah, it's getting there.
Oh, wow. Check that out. That is beautiful. Excellent. It looks like you've done some very tight pencils underneath there in the first place. Now, I know that you used to work super rough, but I've noticed recently, like, you when you're laying down your pencils now, Camillo, you're doing some very, very tight pencils. Is that a new sort of style for you? Is that something that you feel more comfortable doing, or?
Well, the real reason for it, man, is that I can sell the pencils.
Or is that just something?
Yeah, I can sell the.
I love it.
Yeah. It's just another way to hustle, man. Yeah. So like for my issue 2 of the Ronin, I already sold the pencils for it. So it's just another thing I can sell. But for this, I didn't do pencils. I'm going straight into inks. That what you see underneath is a digital rough. I just
Here I was trying to, your creativity and your artistic process. Throw around really big, fancy, arty-farty words.
So you want to know about my process?
On that, don't I, Cam? Hey.
Oh, you can have it, man. It's a gift to you. It's a thank you. But yeah, do you want to see the pages?
Yeah, of course.
Oh,
definitely.
yeah.
Show everyone the pages.
Can we see the pages?
I'm getting them now.
Yeah, his pages.
So can I show all of them, Kieran? Can I show all of them? Am I allowed to?
Let's not show the last.
Show the pages.
Show the last page. Let's keep the last page an illusion.
Okay, we'll keep the last page secret.
There's got to be some story for people to read. Yeah, last page is the secret.
So we got page 1. You think? This is page 1.
Hang on, I'll bring this in soon.
Yeah. So this was an interesting page to do because the story is set in 16th century Germany. So I had to go around and do some research on architecture and clothing and stuff. I wanted to make it somewhat accurate, And then we got we got page 3. All right. We got page 3 there. So I do everything in red line first, and then when I scan it in, I delete the reds. And then we got page 3.
Yep.
Because we're not showing page 4. Page 3 is my favorite page.
Yeah. Page 3 is phenomenal. Yeah.
Yeah, this is my favorite page. And that's the 3 pages that I can show.
And you've killed it. Like you've done sequential art a couple of times now, and back and forth to you again, talking to you about it. You've killed it. Like I'm stoked on how it's all played out, because it's beyond what I envisioned for that story. And more or less, this is we're getting Death's origin story here without giving too much away. And it's based around the Black Plague, so it does have the Doctor in it, which is pestilence, and it kind of leads way into the story that we're going to be telling in this issue. And it's awesome. And we've lost Brendon.
Have we?
But but yeah, I mean, it's been a really joyful experience with having you on board for this issue. Oh, Brendon's back. Hi, Brendon. Nah, I gotta add him. There we go.
Sorry about that.
Dude, you bailed on us.
I got a thing saying there was an error message and the screen disappeared. So I don't know what happened. I missed all the pages, dude. I missed all the pages.
Oh, no.
We'll show them again. Should we show them again?
Show them again.
Show them again.
All right. So we got page 1. And I was saying that this was a fun page to do because the story is set in 16th century Germany. So I had to look up how the buildings looked like, what people wore, the haircuts, And we got page 2. And then we got page 3. Page 3 is my favorite. But we're not showing page 4.
Very nice.
Page 4 is the big reveal.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent. I love the way that you've been using other artists to do sort of like the flashback sort of historical parts of each book, Kieran. It's just awesome. Like the sort of juxtaposition between styles is brilliant.
Yeah, and it's been a blast to be able to do that. It takes the pressure off me doing 20 freaking pages every time too. But it's also like, it takes the pressure. It does take the pressure off, but it's great to be able to work with other creators. And I like I said at the start, I kind of give them that freedom to do what they perceive as my vision when I give them the script, and I kind of give them the freedom to really do what they want. I don't really want to have them held to the actual description that I give them in the script. I mean, I've got a script here. I've got the script here, and you know, I'll show you a page that Camillo was doing. But I mean, that right there is how I would set it up, and if you can see it. But yeah, I mean, the description of it, you know, it gives you an idea. Now, my spelling and grammar isn't great, but that said, they tend to pick up on the gist of what I'm trying to say. That's why I've got a good editor, thanks to my
at least it's not written on a napkin in like a giant oversized crayon. So you know,
that's usually what I do when I'm concepting up an idea.
Yeah.
Talking bread, come on, man! I wrote that on a bread bag. But yeah, it's been fun. Like from the start, you know, Matt Kime did the first one. He kind of kicked it all off, and it was a lot of fun for me. And then it kind of went out of control when I ended up doing a variant comic for his comic book. But you know, then it led on to working with Jackson, which Jackson had never done sequential work, and he. You know, he had some obstacles to overcome, and he said that to me. He goes, "I don't know how you do this. It is a big challenge," and he took his hat off to me for doing it for the way I do it, which is really cool to see. And then onwards was Angie. Angie, her work was phenomenal in issue 3, and again Logan as well. Logan did an amazing job in issue 4.
Yep.
5 we had Ben. Up on now, Ben, I know he had a big agenda with some other projects, so to be able to jump in and kind of do those 2 pages for me there, that was a huge effort, and I appreciate that. And now Cam coming in and doing issue 6, which is, you know, it's going to be the last issue for about a year now, so it's kind of it's leaving it on a high end. So the next person that comes in has got a bit of a challenge to outdo Cam. Maybe.
Well, I wouldn't like to be them.
It's kind of funny. I was thinking the other night, like, I'm going to get other people to do the next 6 issues because we're going to have more flashbacks to tell. I was like, who do I get? Who am I going through?
Yeah. Here's a poison callus.
Exactly, yeah. And even that, like, I've even had Rui, who's watching tonight. He's come on and done a pin-up for me. Matt Combs has done a pin-up for me. Recently, we had Carl Hewitt from the very big supporter of my work. He's an illustrator. He did the short story in issue 5 with Tim Stiles. So Tim was actually he's been one of our first writers for In Purgatory, and that was a little short story that we like to do in the Kickstarters, and that was an absolute joy. Like having someone again write these characters was great, and the reception to Tim's story was really cool. So it's great to have all these people coming on board and playing in my toy box, more or less, and pulling my toys apart, which is awesome. I love it. It makes it half the fun of doing these comics.
Yeah. So, what cool stuff have you got on offer for the Kickstarter for this one? Because you always have a swag of goodies. So, show me your wares.
So, we have our previous Kickstarters. We do enamel pins. We've got. I don't have them all with me. But I've got the Death, which is actually really low. We're going to run out of these shortly, so there'll be a new, different style one coming into place later on down the track. We've got Mischief Maker, one of my favourite characters. We've got Damien. See that? Damien. We've got the sticker pack, which has been really popular, of our 3 major characters, Death, Mischief Maker, and Damien, and then the logo itself. And then we've got the back issues as well. It's
stuck on my laptop, but so I can't show you because I'm talking to you through the laptop. But after you gave me shit about how neat my stickers were, I put them everywhere.
I've got them slapped over everything. And then we've got the back 5 issues as well. So if you're new to the series and you want to pick up the 5 issues, you can grab those. Issue 1 to 5 are available as well. We do have, I don't have it on me, we've got the covers as well, which has been a popular one this time around where people are grabbing it and I'll do a sketch on it. We've got the back catalogue for Halftone Productions, which includes the Talking Breads, which is now down to its last 5 sets. So once they're gone, that's it.
Cool.
And then we've got
Super Ready Battle Armor
in there as well. Super Ready Battle Armor's in there as well. The new 3 issue, well, including the new 3rd issue, that's in there as well.
Which has just come out and is available at D's.
It is. It's been sent out to its backers. But yeah, it's and then we've got original art. So there's original art from my stuff.
Cool.
I haven't actually put anything up for Cam, so I probably should do that too. I'm sure that'll go quicker than what my stuff will. And then we've got a guest cameo, so you'll be able to be a character within one of the pages. So if you're interested in that, you can be drawn into it. We've had that done a couple of times in the past issues.
Oh, you've drawn me into one. Issue of Talking Bread on the background.
I've drawn you into one. That was very, that was very early days. Yeah.
The likeness was uncanny.
And then there's digital stuff. So, we'll see. But yeah, it's
good job because I'm most known for being Hugh Jackman's body double, and I thought you captured that really nicely. Yeah.
No comment. But there's digital rewards as well. If you weren't interested in getting the physical copies and you want to read them on your tablets, you can get them on there. What else we got? I've lost track of it.
They're a great option for overseas backers where shipping is just too much of an obstacle. Like I know whenever I back Kickstarters, particularly in the States where the shipping is just ridiculous. I go for the digital option. That way I still get to read the comic. I still get to enjoy the comic. You guys, you usually chucked a little bit of extra stuff in the digital copy or any like variant covers and pinups and things like that. So you don't miss out on any of that cool art and that cool content. So it's a great option for someone who, isn't in Australia and they can, enjoy the series. They can still read it without having to pay like something like $40 to $50 to ship comics overseas nowadays. It's crazy.
It's about $26 at the moment. Thanks to certain tariffs put on by certain presidents. I won't point name fingers, but it is quite expensive. So the digital option is always offered. We try to offer it fairly because of printing and all that. But at the end of the day, it kind of is we've got to do it, and people want to grab the physical copies, which they do. They're more than welcome to. But yeah, we've got a fair bit on offer. We do have stretch goals as well. So one of them being Matt Combs, who is joining us here tonight. He's done a variant print pin-up for us, which is
nice.
Of the Grim Reaper and Behemoth, which is really cool. I don't have it on me. I'm a shit person. I forgot to get it printed out today. I was going to. But he's kicked it out of the park. You can check that on the Kickstarter. It's on there now. We've actually unveiled that. And then we've revealed the second stretch goal, which is at $2,000, which I'm hoping to get to, which will be these limited edition buttons. So you'll get a 4-pack of buttons. So hopefully if we get to that stretch goal, everyone who's backed a physical reward will get that 4-pack of buttons. I'm a button and badge collector, so I do enjoy them on my but yeah, that's the kind of thing we try to create merchandise that I like as well as a consumer as well. I do enjoy having these little items as collectible memorabilia of the time doing the project. So giving that back to the guys that back these projects is really fun.
Excellent.
And that's about it.
Excellent.
The Kickstarter. Except we've got to break those stretch goals.
Yeah. Okay, people, what are you doing? Go on, get onto the Kickstarter. I'm sure the link is in the comments. Back the Kickstarter, get some cool buttons, I help unlock the stretch goal so we can all get some cool buttons. Don't be selfish. Unbelievable. Come on.
Yeah. It's been a tiring process doing all this. We're coming to the end of it, and hopefully we're actually going to beat our shipping goal as well. So we're hoping to have it out in early Jan. We're looking to have them out by early December now, because I've actually done a 2-week campaign instead of a 4-week campaign. The trajectory that we now have. Graham Jackson is doing the lettering for this issue, and if everything goes to plan, which it looks like it is, I'm actually hoping to have all the digital edits done to the pages by the end of this week, and then it's off to Graham next week to do lettering, and then the week after we'll be doing proofing, and then mid that week hopefully we'll be done, and it'll be off to the printer. We'll actually have it printed before the Kickstarter. Well, just around the time the Kickstarter finishes.
Oh, that's
which
awesome.
Is exciting.
It's very exciting. You've got Graham Jackson doing the lettering. Like he's one of the people that is just proof in the pudding that lettering is its own art form in itself. Like he's fantastic.
Yeah, it is. I've recently Brad's been doing it. He's had a couple of issues that he can't attend to at the moment, so we've outsourced it. I originally was doing it back in the beginning, and I've kind of come to realize that I can't do it all anymore. And again, it comes down to having a team of people that you can rely on and have work with you and work well, because it makes the process so much more fun and enjoyable and easier as well. And money talks. Money talks. I mean, if you're paying the people that are doing the work, then they'll definitely do
it. Money does help. People like money.
It's a major contributor to it.
Yeah. Is it time to announce the competition winners?
I'm actually doing that right now. Let's just.
Excellent.
I'm
going to get the duck outfit.
Pump them all into the system, and then we'll talk about. But while we do that, so next year we do have the Talking Bread coming out. I have that ready for March, so we'll be running a Kickstarter in March for that. It's a bigger goal. We do have a couple of surprises we're waiting on. Hopefully they'll get to be announced very soon. But excellent. We have that installed. The apparition, I'm looking around mid next year. Fingers crossed. If we can get the world back in order, we'll be able to release it. But fingers crossed that all comes to fruition. And then we'll have a couple of other projects we're working on. I know Super 80 Battle Armor is they're slowly working on issue 4 over 2021. So that'll be coming out. And Halftone Effect obviously is running at the moment, which anyone can check out. If you go on to Halftone Effect on SoundCloud, iTunes, Spotify, all the streaming networks, excuse me, and you can check them out there. And I mean, yeah, it's non-stop. We'll have new episodes of the podcast coming out next March. I've already started booking in people for them. We're very excited by what's coming out there as well. And it's kind of fun to connect with people in the industry and talk to them about what they're doing and how it's all coming along. So, it's kind of cool.
Well,
it's kind of cool what's going on. Well, you've been on it a couple times now, so.
I don't know why you keep getting me back. Listen to some blowhard.
Cam's a veteran now too. Cam's been on it twice.
Yeah. Yeah. I see the list of the guests for the season, and I'm like, oh wow, such awesome guests. And then I see my name, and I'm like, what does he want to talk to? Like a lone man who works in a comic shop, a couple of staff who may or may not have a wild chicken on the loose in there. Like, I don't really have much else to contribute.
Oh yes, and I mean, Cam, what have you got coming up in the next year? Is there anything you can tell us about?
The next year, nothing concrete. There could be more turtle covers, but we'll see. Yeah, America's a mess right now, man. Like apparently, IDW isn't doing any more retail exclusives for a while.
Okay.
So that's probably nothing till next year. Yeah.
Yeah, I
But
can
it's good
I
like
can
that,
shed
man.
a bit of light on the IDW thing. So yeah, they've had a lot of staffing changes, and coming into Christmas is one of the busiest periods for publishing. And so while they basically get the new staff trained up, they didn't want the pressure of lumping a whole bunch of retailer exclusive covers on them as well when they're just getting used to doing the job. So I've been told that probably January, towards the end of January, IDW will open up their retailer exclusive program again. And hopefully by then the two new guy and gal who will be well and truly trained and comfortable in the position and be able to take on that sort of responsibility. So yeah, that's something exciting that we have planned at D's next year as well. Like another couple of retailer exclusives. Maybe not IDW, maybe not Image, but we've got some exciting things planned.
Yeah. Okay. So there's definitely stuff happening.
Hopefully we can do something again with Camillo.
Of course, man. Of course.
Yeah, that would be very exciting. I think the IDW editors are sick of when they see my email address come up, they're just like, oh, for fuck's sake, that guy again. What does he want this time?
But with that said, there's a lot of projects coming up on Kickstarter of late with IDW and IDW Boom. Oni, like there are a lot of bigger publishers are doing Kickstarters now. Have you noticed that as well?
Yeah,
it's the way of the future, man.
Yeah,
I think too. It's like you said. It's like this big pre-order platform. And on Kickstarter, like a good example is the Keanu Reeves comic that's coming up. So what's actually being offered on Kickstarter for Berserker are really high-end editions of the book that aren't going to be out for about 2 years. But they've sort of done it as a way of getting people into local comic shops, which is something I really appreciate. And it was really awesome to see someone like Keanu Reeves step up and sort of propose this idea where he's offering like these ridiculously expensive high-end editions of the book. But everyone who signs up to follow his Kickstarter, because he's Keanu Reeves, then gets a message every time a single hits a local comic shop, and they're encouraged to go to the local comic shop and get it. Not to wait for the big fancy gold trim leather-bound edition. Go in and grab the singles now. So it's also a way for some of the sort of medium-sized publishers that aren't Marvel or DC to kind of promote themselves and have that platform where they have that constant engagement with their customers or particular fans of a particular writer, a particular artist, or a particular genre. So Kickstarter is definitely being utilized in so many different ways now. It's not just about getting a little bit of money to fund your first book. It's a very, very powerful marketing tool. And let's face it, not everyone can afford, a luxury edition of a book, but being able to do a Kickstarter where you're getting those updates and you're getting that insider info, you're getting those little teasers and tastes. And from my point of view, it's fantastic because it's pushing people to their local comic shop.
Yeah, for me, it was kind of it's daunting to see them all coming on because they've got their utilities set up already, and then they're coming onto our turf now as a independent and kind of hustling in on our territory. And it's like, oh, come on, guys, you've got the market. It's like, can you at least give us this piece of the pie? Like, don't try and hustle in on our turf. And like what they're offering, especially for the Keanu one, was I was kind of gobsmacked by it.
Again,
I was like, oh, okay, cool. You've got this massive price mark on a book that's not released, which was going to be released as a single issue, and then they turned around and released it as a single issue as well. I was like, that's not how you reward your your people who backed the project. And you will notice if you go on there now and look at it, there are a lot of people that have got their nose out of joint because of it too. That it's being released as a single issue, which could hurt them in the long run if they release any more projects on there. And I know, look, I've made mistakes along the way as well. I'm not perfect. There's some people who've missed out on their rewards. They haven't arrived in the mail. If it's been lost in the mail, that happens. What I can say is that I always try and reimburse them with that they've backed and a little bit more to keep them engaged, because you don't want to lose those people who are supporting a project, and you want to keep them aboard. So it's Kickstarter really does want you to build that audience and maintain that audience. And what scares me is that these big guys are going to come in and kind of just burn everyone, and then we're going to be the ones left holding the mistakes of the big companies.
I'm going to focus in on Boom again. That's why I like the way Boom have sort of they're using Kickstarter essentially as that kind of that tool for marketing and PR, but they're doing their best not to step on the toes of the little guys. Like they are still releasing the single issues, and they make it clear from the start, single issues are going to come out in comic shops. What we're offering on Kickstarter is this fancy edition. The thing that gets up my nose is some of the big name creators who do their independent book on Kickstarter. They get funded for over $1 million, and then they do a diamond release as well. And they expect comic shops to still order it. It's like, no, you reached 1 million people. You've made more than enough money, and you're going to release it as well. And then they release the regular release, say, with a different cover. So the people who back their Kickstarter then feel duped as well, because they're like, well, now I've got to buy this other cover. I got the ultimate package, and I didn't get all the covers.
Yeah.
So, I think there's a way of doing it for the big guys, and there's a way that's just, I don't know, trying to double dip. And the double dippers, the double dippers suck.
And the thing about it is, the moment, who's done it recently that is big? It was Todd McFarlane with his toy. Started doing it with his Spawn figures, and it's very interesting to watch that unfold, because I'm a sucker for the toys, and I backed it. I wanted to get this toy. Now, I have heard inklings that this could be released as a outside of Kickstarter, which I feel as though is a detriment to the service that they're trying to pitch to people when they say this is a Kickstarter exclusive. It's like, don't go and do that. Like, don't go and pitch this as something else and then go and do it as that. So to me, that's why I think it's important to kind of keep Kickstarter as this thing for funding your project, but also if you've got stuff to give away that is exclusive, make it clear to people that it's a Kickstarter only exclusive. Because if you're going to sell it outside of that, it'll hurt your audience. And I like,
especially if something gets a general release and then it's cheaper than the Kickstarter version, and it's the exact same product. So it was billed as being Kickstarter exclusive. It gets released the exact same product, and it's no longer Kickstarter exclusive, and it's $25 cheaper because it's gone through a regular production process and a regular distribution process. Yeah,
definitely. No, you're 100% on the money there, man.
Let's face it though, Todd McFarlane would sell his own grandmother if it would make him an extra couple of $1 million.
Well, he made $2 million in this one, so
that I would have sex with. But as a businessman, the dude would sell his wife's teeth if he thought it would make him a few extra bucks.
Nice guy though.
Great guy.
It's very interesting to watch it all unfold, and Kickstarter has been a big platform this year during COVID-19, and it's been interesting to watch it all unfold, and a lot more indie creators have jumped on, which is great to see. Zach, this hasn't Cam, this hasn't been your first experience on Kickstarter, has it? You've actually done a few other projects on Kickstarter with other creators.
Yeah, I just I've done a variant for Exilium by Ben Slabak. That was on Kickstarter as well.
Mm-hmm.
That was it, but I don't think I've done anything else.
Yep.
This is the second one. Yours is the second, yeah.
You haven't been a part of anything this second. Okay. And you're also a part of this year Australia Burns project as well, which was
that's right, yeah. Because that
big.
was on Kickstarter, but
No, that wasn't on Kickstarter, but that was still a huge project to be a part of as well. You had yours was the cover. Your artwork was on the cover.
Yeah.
Which was massive.
Yeah, that was an honor, man. That was Big Tim Styles.
Yeah, you've had a pretty big year, dude.
I had a huge year, man. I can't believe it.
Tim really came through there. And... Are you exhausted?
No, I'm not exhausted, but I look back and I think like, shit, I did a lot of stuff this year.
And I mean, it's only going to get better for you, man. Now you're going to be doing a lot more next year. I've already got something teed up for you next year, anyway. If you've got time,
I'll make time, man.
If I had enough money, I'd be a personal artist. I'd just have you drawing things for me each day.
Awesome. We do have a winner for tonight's competition of the D's Comics in Purgatory bundle. I'd like to thank everyone for jumping in and saying their 2 bits about their favourite character. It's really cool to see people's reaction for who's their favourite character and hearing about what excites them about my stories and the fucked up tales that I tell. So I'd like to say that tonight's winner is Ollie Ward. Thank you, Ollie, for your contribution to that, being Death. He is a cool character, like we've seen Camillo draw tonight. We'll just zoom into that one again. But thank you everyone for entering. Thank you for checking in on this live stream. Look at that.
Wow, look at that. That is rad.
That's going to be the D's cover exclusive.
Ooh, God, that's so cool. Nice work, Camillo.
Thanks, man.
Yeah. I know I say it all the time, but
dude. Killing it.
You do great work. Yeah.
It's awesome. Awesome to see, and I can't wait till it's we've got it printed and out on the shelf at D's Comics.
Oh, yeah, I should have it. I should have it to you by the end of the week, I reckon.
There you go. Oh, I have to get the printing done even quicker then. Brendon, I'll be harassing you before the end of the week.
Yeah, no worries.
But yeah, it's been great tonight, guys. It's been great to do this. We should do it more often.
Yeah, thanks for inviting me. Sorry about the technical difficulties there at the start.
It happens to the best of us, as they say.
We went through 2 cameras before we found one that worked.
The joys of technology, hey. This has been an absolute blast, guys. I've really enjoyed doing this. We've gone over what we're gonna do, but we've really enjoyed doing it. All right, we might wrap it up for tonight, guys. Thank you again for everyone that's joined in. Thank you to all our listeners, all our watchers. This will be up on our YouTube page now, so you can watch this from whenever and check out some of Cam's rad illustrations he's doing for D's Comics, which will be available in store. Well, I won't give you a date yet because the Kickstarter's still going. But what I'll say is that the Kickstarter is still going. What's that?
You big
What'd you say?
I said you're a big tease.
Absolutely. Of course I'm gonna. But I mean, it is great to everyone that's joined in and backed the Kickstarter. It's been this. I'll say it again. Don't launch a Kickstarter on an election. Don't do it. Just don't do it. Don't do it to yourself. We did get there eventually, but it was a bit of a slog, and I was a bit worried there for a second. Which you do, which a lot of people will know who've run Kickstarters, that the stress that goes along with it. But yeah, it's been a fun experience working with Cam on this project.
Excellent. Well, yeah,
awesome, guys.
Make sure everybody jump on, back the Kickstarter, get some of those rewards. Let's unlock those stretch goals. Get Brendon some buttons. I gotta look good. It's awesome being able to catch up with you guys and talk about the new book.
Yep.
Yeah. It's awesome that it's coming out so soon too. Like, because we only just had number 5 arrive the week before last. So it's fantastic to have an Australian book that's just coming out so regularly. Yeah, it's brilliant. Good work, Kieran, and awesome work, Camillo. As always,
I think
you're just the best.
Thanks, guys.
No, you've made this experience a lot easier, man, and it's been an absolute joy to work with you. But I do need a break from In Purgatory for about a couple of months. It's been a fun process, nonetheless.
Nice.
Before we do go, where can they find you, Camillo, on the social media circuit?
I've got an Instagram at instacam_ILLO, and I got a Facebook page, Camillo Art. That's where you can find me.
Awesome. And you, Brendon, where can people find your store?
You can find the D's contact details on just about any public toilet wall in the Canberra and wider Canberra region. You can find us at dscomics.com.au. We're on Facebook just as D's Comics, and on Instagram as D's Comics. The best D's experience is to shop in person. I can't get handsy with you over the internet, so yeah, if you're ever in Canberra, drop in and say hi. I try.
And with restrictions lifting, we actually might be able to come and do a live store appearance too. So
that would be awesome.
That might be on the cards.
Yeah. So I just thought
Fingers
you were
crossed.
being pretentious when you didn't come before. Like, oh, I'm in the bubble. Yeah. Whatever.
I live in Victoria. That was never going to happen, mate. And as much as it hurt, I wanted to be there. Being in store appearances is some of the best experiences you can have as a creator. From when I was doing D's last year, me and Matt did it for Free Comic Book Day. That was a great experience. Camillo, you've done it before as well. In store experience.
Yeah, I've done it for the release of Yeah.
Yeah,
I was just saying,
you guys at the store. The people in Canberra love having people come and visit. We get a bad rap. The only people that visit Canberra regularly are politicians, and nobody likes them. Even the politicians don't like politicians. So it's awesome to have you guys come to Canberra.
And we'll be there. We'll be there again very soon. Very soon. Guys, thank you for joining in. Please go and check out the Kickstarter. It's been a massive effort to get this organised and get it ready, and we'll hopefully have it to you before the end of the year. Fingers crossed that it all goes to plan. Looking like it is. But again, guys, thank you for joining in. Brendon, thanks for hosting us tonight. It's quite weird sitting out on the outskirts and not being a host. But it's been fun. And Camillo, thank you again for sharing the artwork for the comic and coming on and joining in for this podcast. It's been an awesome podcast. I'm calling it a podcast. It's a live stream. Thank you again, guys, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Cool. See you guys.
Awesome. Thanks, man. See you.